Minasan, hi gozaimasu. Greetings, Chuhou Joutai newbie. If you're watching this video, this is probably your first time playing Chuhou Joutai. And if in case you don't know who I am the Prophet Driller, the game's creator. Now, I might not know a single thing about you other than your interest in the game, so I am happy to help you on how to operate the game's controls and mechanics. When you start the game up for the first time, you will be asked to choose your language, your preferred controller of choice, and your preferred sound card. This could be confusing if you aren't familiar with MS-DOS or its software, which is something kids might not recognize today. Generally, it's like the installation process of an individual game for that platform. You can soon let the intro roll. It's always a good idea to watch the game's intro so you get an idea of what the game's story is about. You can always skip it if you don't want to watch it just by pushing the A or cross button or the Z/enter key. You will then see an image of Kozan-kyo's bayfront with the two titular characters walking onto the screen. Once the Chuhou Joutai logo falls, it makes a thud that shakes the screen, and it's time to start the game. That would be the Z/enter key, the menu button if using an Xbox controller, the options button on a DualShock 4 gamepad, and the plus button if using Joy-Con or other Nintendo Switch controllers. After that, you will be taken to the tutorial guided by Megumi Wasai. She'll teach you on how to operate the game's controls and provide information on the graphical user interface and heads-up display. Once that's done, you'll be taken to the screen to test your controller's analog stick for moving. And also a word of caution. When you see the icon of Kagami writing on a desk, that means the game is saving. We highly advise that you not close the window or turn off your PC during the save process. Otherwise, you can end up damaging the game data. Finally, you'll be in the main menu, greeted by an image of either Driller or Kagami in their jammies next to a large mirror. To your right is the menu options. They're color-coded and we included an icon next to each menu button. So that way, we've made it easier for young and or inexperienced players who might have not learned to read yet. But basic reading ability is highly recommended to fully understand this game. You don't have to worry about the Japanese text below the English one. As for bilingualism, it literally means the same thing. The red button is, of course, the game's main attraction, arcade mode. That's the icon with an arcade controller. We'll teach you how to set up arcade mode later in this video. The yellow button is basically the same main attraction, but you can freely play or practice any stage. You might think the icon is a car, but no. It's actually the Famicom attached to the disk system accessory, which if you don't know, that's the original Japanese NES. You can watch the Gaming Historian's video on the Famicom disk system later if you like. The green button lets you view your amazing high scores. Of course, we've loaded high scores for each difficulty. That's the icon with a bullet list. The cyan or turquoise button with the icon of an MP3 player is the music room, where you can listen to the game's soundtrack and view music comments I've written. You can use it as your own personal jukebox if you like. The blue button with the gear icon is the options, where you can change the game's settings to your liking. There's also the ability to erase high scores and such, but beware, once you do so, you can't undo it, so be careful. We'll explain the options later in this video. And lastly, if you decide you're done playing, the purple button with the power button icon will shut down the game. We're going to teach you on how to set up the game for arcade mode. Navigate to the arcade mode button on the main menu and push the confirm button. You'll then be asked how many people will be playing. You will need 2 controllers to do 2-player mode, so pick single-player mode for now. Next, you will be asked which character and respective shot type you will be using. So Sumo Takajima, or Driller as the others call him, is recommended for beginners and for those playing scrolling shooters for the first time. Kagami Ochiai is best recommended for players seeking a challenge. She's stronger than Driller though! In order to achieve the right level of balance, more powerful weapons have a slower fire rate, but they deal more damage to enemies. For example, Driller's Dragon Beam fires slower than Suspect Seiki. Remember, their special traits can only activate if your power is 12% or higher. Lastly, we'll teach you on how to adjust the settings. Go to the options menu, which is the 5th option on the main menu. You can change things like audio settings, where you can adjust the volume of the music and sound effects to your liking. You can also change the audio format you want to use too for music. In addition, you can change the starting number of bombs and HP for each player. As we mentioned earlier, you can change your language and controller of choice. But there's also the option to erase all your high scores if you plan on resetting the game to factory settings. Remember, deleted save data cannot be recovered, so be careful. We hope this video was useful, maybe you learned something you probably didn't, and we hope you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing to Drillimation's YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on what the Prophet is up to. For more tips, tricks, and best practices, visit the support page on our website, Drillimation.com. I'll see you in Kozan-kyo someday! Ikimashou!